We got the button. All right. Welcome. 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 There we are. Get it on. There we are. My name is Marjorie Ray. I'm treasurer here at Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And I would like to welcome all of you to our amazing Circle Sunday. And it's going to be an amazing Sunday. And our announcements, I'm going to turn over to...
Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you, Marjorie. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. All right. First, in our announcements, on April 2nd, Wednesday, April 2nd, we're going to have our Care Circle follow-up. How many of you have participated in Care Circle follow-up so far? Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And we have April 2nd? Wednesday the 2nd? Yes. Wednesday, right. Yeah, we're going to follow up to what we talk about in today's class, and we have a special guest instructor, Jackie Williams-Pearson, our amazing practitioner, is teaming up with Dr. Aaron, and they are going to lead you in a beautiful discussion, furthering and deepening our discussion today. And second on the schedule here, who's having any type of anxiety? Anyone here having a little bit of anxiety? Yes? Not at all? Not at all? Okay. All right. Well, anxiety is running through a lot of people, so we thought it was appropriate to have a class on how to awaken from and through our anxiety. Dr. Erin, she has so many gifts and talents. I'm so grateful that she's a part of our community. And this is one of her specialties. And so she's going to help guide us. We're going to walk you through some awareness points, some skill sets, and how to love yourself through it all. That it's okay. You know, it's okay. We're all doing the best that we can. And so this is a 3-week class starting on April 17th. You can scan the QR code or go to the newsletter or to the website to register. We hope to see you there.
Okay, so am I? Yeah. I am. By the way, I am. So the last one is we've got a class coming out that originally was going to be rolled out on the 15th. It's going to roll out at the end of the month. So you see the class change to April 29th. This class is interesting because it's about committing to your spiritual journey by anchoring in principles associated with practice, or practices associated with principles. That sounds better, doesn't it, Juanita? Reverend Juanita over here, she and I are teaching this class. It is, serious. This class is something we've designed, and we designed it specifically because in the past, it's like a foundational class. This will give you a deep and rich idea of what we practice if you're new. But if you want to kind of kickstart your practice in a little bit deeper way associated with some of the principles that we believe, which is oneness and wholeness and abundance and those kinds of principles, then that's what this class does. It'll give you a chance to do that, and at the end, at the 5th week, it's a 5-week class, in the 5th week, our practitioners are going to be working with the students to develop a personalized spiritual practice. So you will walk away with one designed for you to address an issue in your life in this class. Sound good? I thought so too. Super cool. Okay. Other than that, I just want to say this. Have you noticed that everyone sits in the back? Right? Except for a few of those A students that have decided to be up front here. And just so you know, Veronica and I are going to call on you if you're in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Look at that. Chris says bring it, and I'm kidding because we don't like to scare people. Well, sometimes. Sometimes I like to scare people, but it's usually to inspire. Okay.
All right. Okay, so if you have parked behind someone, we do have a card to fill out to put on your windshield just to let us know it's your car so we can contact you. And so place a card on your windshield, and if you're blocking someone in, we'll let you know. And we're asking also that you turn off your phones right now, and remember to turn them back on so that we can call you and let you know that you're blocking someone. So go ahead and turn off your phones so that we can have uninterrupted time. All
Absolutely.
Right.
I think back pockets are now made for phones. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
I just see that universally. So take your phone with you if you go over and have a snack, just so in case there's somebody who wants to leave.
Okay, all right. And we're going to move into, all right, we're going to move into our care circle. And we do the care circle process so that we put people first before process. And so this is our time to connect and also to release and let go. So in dyads, so we have you set up, and there's hopefully an even number in your group. So turn and grab a dyad partner. And what we're going to talk about today is what is a word of good for today? Something good that is going on in your life, and we want you to share it with your dyad partner. So this is a quick share. This isn't a story. This is a short share of sharing what's going on good. So turn, face your partner, and share and exchange.
You gonna join us?
No, just here.
Okay. I need some light.
And if you haven't switched, please switch.
Want the lights on? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Has everybody had a chance to share? If you have shared. All right. Please raise your hand if you've already shared. Raise your hand if you've shared. And we'll bring it to a close. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Now, the second part of our care circle is where we share a heaviness of heart or a hardness of head, or some way that we're being stubborn. No, stubborn? No. All right. Little chatter going. Hold on. Let's get everybody settled. Ooh, they're ready to engage. All right, if I could get your attention, we're going to do heaviness of heart or hardness of head. Everybody take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Ooh.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay. So we're going to do heaviness of heart and hardness of head. Did you want to demonstrate, Reverend Bobbi? Let's everybody take another deep breath in. We have some energy going today.
All right, does everybody see this? Can you see this? If you can't see this, it's because something's moving. Right? Okay. So when we do this with the teens. For those of you that are new, we do this so we kind of get the room settled. So we're going to wait till we're all settled. Oh, good job. Good job.
Okay. All right.
We're going to demonstrate?
We're going to demonstrate.
Okay. So this is what?
Do you have any heaviness of heart or hardness of head that would be in the way of you being present here today?
So nothing in the way of being present here today, but I do have a little bit of angst going on. There's a few things going on in my life right now that are super good, but they're also a lot. So I feel a little anxious.
Thank you.
How about you?
Other than the boot that I'm wearing today,
Part of the boot club.
my fashionista, yeah, just the struggle, a little bit of struggle, physical struggle with it.
Okay. So then what we're going to do is what? What's next?
So then once everyone is able, we will go around in each group and ask if there's heaviness of heart, and I will do a prayer, a collective prayer for all. Okay? So go ahead and turn to your dyad partner and share. Each of you share a heaviness of heart or hardness of head.
the only other thing with
Right. Valerie's doing the prayer? Okay. Let's go ahead and bring it to a close. And Valerie Day. Do you want to do the prayer? Yeah. Let's bring it to a close. And we're going to have Valerie's going to help us out. Do you have a paper? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Everybody look up, please. Bring it to a close. Yes. Yes. Valerie's going to do our prayer today. All right. So this group here, do we have a heaviness of heart or hardness of head? Yes. Go ahead and share it. Okay. Family conflict. Family conflict. Thank you. Anyone else? No? In this group here? In Gina's group? You're okay? Everybody good? Yes. Relationship. Okay. Yes. An oral surgery. Okay. Good. All right. Tax season. Tax season. Anyone else? Okay. Yes. Anyone here?
Yes. Wannabe kings.
Wannabe kings?
Wannabe
Yes.
kings. Not to mention any names.
What would you call that if you were to summarize that?
Probably being a perfectionist, you know, and it's maybe 95%, and I'm not happy with it. I'm sorry. We gotta.
I just want to say that I'm happy I was out working in my garden while he was in his project. That was perfect.
Lovely.
Thank you. Okay.
Hold on a sec. Can you unmute all the mics? What's that? Are the mics all unmuted? They are?
Am I? No. Am I on? Am I on? I'm just going to state the obvious. There's a lot of angst going on, uncertainty, and we just are going to have to deal with it and hold on to each other.
Nope.
Okay. Yes.
You keep your mic.
Oh, you're on. Thank you.
I'd like a prayer for all the people that are suffering right now. Immigrants who are scared, transgender people who are scared, women who are scared for their health, people of color that are scared. Just a prayer for people's well-being.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. And I would like to add people who are in war communities throughout the world. On a personal level, I'm getting ready to move, and I'm happy and excited and anxious. So, prayer.
I'm currently in the biggest trust fall of my life, which is bringing up a whole lot of fear and uncertainty. And so I'm being called to feel the fear and do it anyway, and my prayer is around leaning into faith, faith over fear, feeling the surrender, and being the Nike swoosh and just doing it.
Family dramas, multiple, all at once.
My very good friend Jackie Yukawa had passed on Tuesday morning peacefully.
Continued love and support and healing for my great-grandson.
It's my turn. All right. So we're going to affirm that I can read my scratchy, sloppy notes. And we're also going to affirm, while not everybody spoke, what I want y'all to know that a prayer for one is a prayer for all. So this is a prayer for everybody, because what we believe here is that we're all connected. So let us pray. Let us just arrive here, just giving thanks that we are all here, alive, awake, aware, breathing the breath of life that is breathing us. We just recognize that there is only one mind, one power, one infinite intelligence, expressing in its fullness and allness as each and every person in this beautiful sanctuary, and each and every person that we've invited to pray for. They're all part of that infinite love, one field. So I know that the prayer is already happening. It was happening as we went around to each person and they spoke their stuff, their story, their worry, their gratitude. And so we just know that prayer is always happening. So we just formally come together to speak this word of prayer, just recognizing where there is conflict in families, we affirm peace, we affirm grace, we affirm divine right action. Where there's relationships with troubles, we just affirm love and connection and grace and ease, just knowing that it is God expressing in its fullness and allness in these families, in these beautiful relationships. Where the oral surgery is happening this week, we just affirm health and wholeness and peace, just knowing that it's God operating on God right there in its fullness and allness, that all unfolds with ease and grace. And we know that it's tax season, so we bless the tax preparers. We bless the people that are preparing to have their taxes done. We just bless it all, just knowing that it's really a celebration of our abundance. It's an opportunity to be conscious with, where did our money go? What do we value? And we just get to really celebrate this opportunity to reflect and renew and just be grateful for our abundance and the ease and the grace. I affirm this is the easiest our taxes have ever been. Whether we have to pay or not, it's just all good. It's all God. It is the flow of the universe expressing in its fullness and allness. And I just affirm and know that all is unfolding with ease and grace with our leaders, with our world leaders. I'm not quite sure about the wannabe king's prayer, so we just know that whatever was in Jim's heart, that prayer is happening. We know that the purity of this prayer is operating right here and right now in its allness as unconditional love. Oh, we just exhale into that vibration of peace, be still, and know that I am. So we know that that is the I am presence that is operating even in, through, and as the chaos that we are seeing. We just see peace and wholeness and divine right action. We just give thanks for the breakdown, for the breakthrough, and we release any idea of perfectionism that is operating, and we stand in that place and space of acceptance for the beauty and the grace and the ease of the project that is unfolding. We speak gratitude for the opportunity to work in our garden. We speak a prayer of peace for anyone that's feeling angst. We just affirm peace and calmness for that place and space where there is uncertainty. We just hold love, just holding on to peace and ease and grace, affirming that peace is who and what we are. We speak a prayer for all who are suffering. We just open our hearts, just blessing the immigrants, our trans brothers and sisters, women, anyone that is in that place and space of suffering. We just hold this prayer of peace and love and safety, just knowing that God is expressing in, through, and as each and every situation, person, place, relationship. We bless our country, we bless our world, we just affirm peace throughout our world. We hold each one of us in our hearts for those of us that are just feeling that, oh, there is war happening and it's just painful. And so we hold that, our hearts in that space and place of love and peace. Just holding peace. We bless the move that is happening, the excitement, the ease, the grace. We just know that anxiousness is just excitement expressing. So we just know that all unfolds in ease and grace with the move. And we just affirm, as someone said, just do it. We feel the fear. We lean into faith over fear, that whatever is happening, that it is God expressing as the fullness and allness of this precious soul's life, that fear is just the energy, the impulse of spirit, the impulse of that dream, that call, that movement of spirit upon itself to create. So we know that energy is expressing and creating with ease and grace. Again, we come back to blessing families, affirming peace in any family drama that's happening. We just know it's an opportunity to just see love, know love, be love, release, let go, open up to the I am that is the expression of love. We bless precious Jackie, who passed this past Tuesday, just blessing all of those who loved her, just knowing that she is soaring free in her greater yet to be. We bless her transition as she just continues to evolve into this next dimension of being. We affirm life is eternal. Life is eternal. We just bless those that are missing her physical body temple, just holding them as they walk this path of grief. And we just affirm love and healing, support for the great-grandson, just seeing wholeness operating in his life. And so we just give thanks for this entire prayer field, for all that has been spoken. We know that the isness and allness of spirit is operating in, through, and as each situation, place, thing, idea, thought, feeling, that there is God expressing in its fullness and allness. We give thanks for this. I release this prayer to the action of the law, knowing it's complete, knowing it's done, saying, and so it is. So I let it be. Amen, amen, amen.
Okay. Isn't it interesting what happens when we speak? We speak our word. In this philosophy, so how many of you, let's do a little quick survey. How many of you, this philosophy we call Science of Mind is new to you last year? You've only been in here a year. Is it new to you? About a year? How many of you been in here up to 5 years? Between 1 and 5 years? Now, if you've been here longer, keep your hand down, okay? How about plus between 5 and 10 years? You've been kind of hanging out in this, right? How about 10 plus? Oh, look at that. How about 20 plus? Now, I'm just going to say this, 30 plus. Yeah. 40 plus. Yep, see? Yep. See how that goes? So I'm just going to say this really quickly. One of the things we believe is what we speak has power. And it's important to know that because today's workshop is about the co-creative power of that. And so before, we're going to just remind you of a couple things. We've said this before. You've seen this. For those of you that are new, if this is your first care circle, you agree to listen, be present, don't fix, don't give advice. I don't really know how to help you with your life, by the way. I can point a way, I can teach principle, but ultimately it is up to each individual to find their own way, their own path. Nobody's is the same. When you share, And we're going to remind you of this when you step up here, because there's going to be sharing to the whole group. You say, I am, I feel, I experience. Not we should, you should, they should, nothing. Use I, me. Those are the two pronouns that you would use. Bring your best love and attention to whatever it is, first and foremost to yourself. That's the hardest place to start, right? I agree to practice non-judgment. By the word, see what's underlined? Practice. Yeah, because that's as good as we get sometimes, right? I agree to love and accept myself and others as they are. How are we doing? Good, okay. And then I agree to stay in the present, the now moment of power. That is where choice comes in. If I can stay in the now, then I can choose and start it all over, every moment. I use as my guide, if it is loving, if it grows, expands, or deepens love, it's the right thing to do. Anything outside of that is a big old question, so you want to sit with that one for a while, right? Yeah. So part of what we've started doing this last year, by the way, this is our 10th care circle. We've been doing 10 of these. And I say, and good, thank you for hanging in there and doing this, because if you're not able to take a class, this is a great once a month to jump in and have some dialogue around some things that sometimes can be rather difficult, mostly what I think about it. So our 10th one, and we've really explored some, I think some really, I'll say, chewy, juicy, difficult, joyful, a host of things in Care Circle Sunday. And you keep showing up. Good for you. So it's part of our waking up, growing up. We're growing up this year. What does that mean? And by the way, it's not when your parent says, hey, grow up. That's not what we're talking about here. Growing up is willingness to look at the shadow. Willingness to do that, because in the shadow is our greatest potentiality. It just is. It's where I hide. It's just where I hide. Cleaning up is also part of that, but cleaning up includes a little bit more dismantling. And that's what we do in this movement, Science of Mind. It's about looking at what I believe, dismantling the things that aren't supporting me, and engaging in new ways. We believe that's where power is. That's the simple part of it. So today, we're talking about the creative process. The creative process is the divine co-creating with all of creation. That's the simple explanation of it. We're going to explore how the creative process is an expression of the divine working through, with, and as us. If you are new to this movement, you haven't heard me say it, God is a verb. God is a verb. God is the action of the universe. We do not teach it any other way. Now, if you believe differently, awesome. But what we teach here is God as the verb, as the creative process. We're going to identify personal blocks that hinder the natural flow of creativity and transformation, and commit to an intentional action by the time you leave here that aligns with the creative process and supports meaningful change. One of the things that mostly gets in our way, and so when we think about the creative process, let's go to, yes, dyads, sorry. We're going to break you up in dyads throughout the time periods. A lot of you are already used to that. You have a partner, yes? If you want to switch your partner, work it out. The only thing I might suggest today that I notice around the room, and I just see a lot of spouses or partners in the room that are sitting next to each other, which is fine. Just try to talk to someone else. I'm just going to invite you to do that. Just for Care Circle Sunday. The rest of the time, you can just talk to them and only them. Yes, Cheryl.
Can I see that list again?
Which list?
The list of the questions for us to mull over.
No, those are not, we're not doing that yet.
Oh, I thought it was right now.
No, not yet. I'm just giving you some instructions. Okay, so as far as dyads, go to the dyad one. First of all, partner 1 asks, partner 2 listens, and then once the cycle is complete, you switch. And now we're going to go to a couple of things that you might want to know. So how many of you are good listeners?
Right.
How many are you good listeners sometimes? And how many of you are not good listeners sometimes? Right? I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. So one of the things that we're learning here is how to listen. So if you look up there, there are nonverbal responses. See on the left? Those are the easy ones. Nodding to show understanding, soft eye contact, gentle smile, pausing before responding. Those are simple, I am listening to you. Now, this is what you don't want to do. You're not pausing to wait for your turn. So if you're thinking about your response, pause. Okay? Just pause and really, really listen. One great verbal thing to do is if someone says, Chris said to me earlier that she washed her car and planted her backyard grass. I'm not sure, but that was a lot. And so it was like, when I really listened, I went, wow, that's a lot, Chris. How does it feel to have done all that? When I really listen, I want to hear a little bit more. So I might ask for a little bit more. Or I might restate, which is a really good one. Just restate. That way someone knows that they were heard. Make sense? Great. So practice that today. Go to our next one. Stay right there. For those of you that have been in this movement, we used to teach the creative process, and Veronica, you mentioned this recently. It's seed, soil, plant. Mm-hmm. Seed, soil, plant. So the seed is my thought, something that I think about, something, the mind of God, which is the action of the universe. The seed is something I want to create, or whether it's conscious or unconscious. By the way, we believe this works all the time. So if you've got stuff in your life, you're going, where'd that come from? Look here. Just look here. The soil. The soil is where the seed is planted, and the soil is how I prepare my mind and my spiritual practice and my world to accept that thought at the highest level. So here's an example, throw a seed in, stick a shovel in there and dig it up and see if it's growing. Does that work? Right, so I'm constantly checking, is it gonna happen, is it gonna happen? That's one. The other thing is, if I care for it, fertilize it. Mulch. What are other ways to fertilize? Water. Sunshine. Till the soil. Talk to them. Nurture. Weeding. Play music. Now, imagine that, and if you do all of that, whatever's gonna come out of there, whatever the seed produces, it's not up to me, but it's gonna come up the highest and best. Right? That's the creative process. Does that make sense? Okay. So one of the things that's really important in our movement is, and what we teach is, it's not just about what we manifest, demonstrate, it's how we show up. The how we show up supports the creative process, the nurturing, right? And then we're also part of an evolutionary process because we are an evolutionary process. We are, collective, whatever it is. We are part of an evolutionary process. So my thinking changes as I learn more and more. Would you agree? Yes. And I start to notice, I do this a lot, as I'm journaling, I figure out, especially when I'm in angst, I figure out what it is going on in me, not just my thoughts, but then from there, I figure out, oh, I can see a pattern of belief in here. I can see how I'm contributing to my angst or whatever is going on by the very thing that I'm expecting, trying to fix, predict and control. You get where I'm going with that? Anybody out here really good at predict and control where it actually works? Oh, good. I thought I was the only one failing so miserably at it. So let's do this. When we're in the flow, when our consciousness is in the flow and I have a little bit of surrender and allowing, allow and surrender are my favorite 4-letter words. Okay? And they're the things that I have to practice a lot of because I really think I know better. I know how it should unfold. Anyone else there with me? Yeah, I can see a bunch of A personalities out there. Can we recognize that when we're controlling or predicting, we're in fear? Can I catch myself? There it is. There it is. There's the interruption, what's interrupting. And so the co-creative process is truly, I would say, affected by I'm going to give you an example. How many of you have or used to drink wine? Well, I have to go there because there's sober people in the room, so you may not drink it anymore. All right, I think a cheap wine is like my bad habits. Okay? Now, when a cheap wine ages, have you tasted it? It's gross. So as my bad habits age, I just get better and better at it. And in fact, I do all sorts of ways to cope and add to it and justify it. I create arms off of it. So that when I do keep drinking that cheap wine and I'm thinking, why does this taste so bad? It's because I'm not conscious in those habits that I have that are creating my life. Does that make sense? I knew you'd get the wine example. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's open up with a question. And our first question is this. And I want you to discuss it in your bigger group, and then we're going to ask some folks to step up. Based on my explanation, we're going to ask you to share. So go ahead and talk about it in your group, in the larger group. Have a conversation. Ready? Go. I changed it from your suggestion. Yeah. And then I changed it again, and then I added something. This is the only question besides the one at the end.
That's good. For time. That's the trick, is time.
The question is also up on this TV if you'd like. All right, I'm going to ask you to pause for just a moment. So, and this is just a little bit of observation feedback. I'm hearing a lot of yous and we's. Don't apologize. Just really focus on this is for you today. How many of you, when you hear a great talk, you go, oh, I wish my sister was here? Right? Or my dad could really hear this. I mean, if they could hear this. So it's not for them. Today's for you. So really share from that I or me and not from the you or we should. Okay? Does anybody have something they'd like to share from their group? You're not done? You want a little bit more? Got it. Go ahead. Go ahead and try dyads. Maybe that. Thank you for that idea. Keep going. Don't have to be diet. Doesn't have to be. Just let your group decide.
I think there's some people are having trouble hearing. Please do that with
Diets. Okay, let's kind of wrap up your share. Let's wrap up the shares. And if you're done sharing, just face the front. Look at Rev Veronica. Everybody look at Rev Veronica if you're done. Just look at her boot. Look at her boot. Let's give some love to that boot. All right, here we go. Okay. Who would like to share from their group what they were feeling, what they were expressing? Not what someone else is expressing, but what they were. Eileen C. Davis, and just come on up. I got about time for 3.
I was feeling quite heard by the group, and we were saying one words, and many of us agreed with them. So it was like community is established.
Okay. Yeah, we got it. Give them a sec.
What keeps me from feeling in the flow of creative process in life? We discussed a fear of the future and being stuck in that, and then dwelling in the past, the shame and guilt of how I messed up that opportunity or how that thing happened can keep me from being in the creative process. And now,
Go ahead, Cheryl.
What keeps me from feeling stuck out of the creative process of my life? I'm not just curious, I'm inquisitive. So I'm addicted to information. And so where I know the 2 areas I'm supposed to develop in, and I ignore them or don't do it as much as I could be doing. And instead, I read lots of books and lots of information.
Thank you, Cheryl. Go ahead, Irene.
What keeps me from feeling in the flow of the creative process is fear of vulnerability, fear of being seen.
That was vulnerable, Irene. Thank you.
I would say that what keeps me, what holds me up in the flow is my ego. My ego steps in and says how, when, and where, or whatever the parameters I set up for the unfoldment of an intention. I need to be more, need to surrender more to the ever-present spirit that knows how to unfold, when to unfold whatever my intention may be.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck. One of the things that came up for me as we were doing these questions was I sometimes get stuck in I need to know why. Why did it happen? Like I'll know, right? So that why, I want to know why, like somehow that makes me justified or feeling okay in it. And that's one of the things I have to work on. So we're going to go to dyads real quick. And so I'd like you to take about 6 minutes to explore. You've talked a little bit. If you've already gotten through what patterns or thoughts lead me to feel stuck, resistant, or uncertain, also go to what helps me move through feelings of being stuck. Okay? So you want to answer both. These are not long answers. You don't have to tell the entire story of what it is, but what patterns or thoughts lead me to feel stuck, resistant, and uncertain. I gave you one just now. Cheryl gave you one. I have this need to know why. And by the way, when I do know why, it doesn't necessarily make me feel better, right? So what helps me move through them is when I look at something in me, the why. Oh my gosh, I think the why is going to help me there. So that's not true. So what can I do in place of that? Which is a pause and a knowing that the mystery is really kind of important in the co-creative process. Does that make sense? Okay, in your dyads. Go ahead. About 6 minutes. I'm going to stop.
I'll just shorten mine.
Zoom. On Zoom, 30 seconds.
We're over 3 minutes.
Okay, here we go. So you should have identified a pattern or thought that leads you to feel stuck, resistant, or uncertain. Is that true? Have you identified a pattern or a thought that kind of keeps you feeling stuck, resistant, or uncertain? Did you figure anything out?
Yes.
Yes? What, you have so many, right? I have so many. I have a good top 10 list, right? A good top 10 list. I'd like to get it down to the top 5. That's my goal, right? So, you basically, what pattern or thought led me to feel stuck, resistant, or uncertain? Did you identify something that helps you move through it?
Yes.
Generally. Is anyone in the room, I just say this, that you're like, well, I think this will work, or I'm uncertain this will work? You haven't tried it before. Were you going to say something, Steve?
Just thinking it through.
Gotcha. So here's what I want you to do. Take your phones out or a piece of paper and write down what is the thing, because I want you to remember it for the end of today's workshop. Will you do that? Will you remember what's pattern or thought and what helps you move through it? Yes?
Yes.
You look uncertain. Some of you look scared. There's a reason, because we're going to address this at the end, because one of the things we want to do is to use the creative process more consciously. We need to know what we're doing. We need to know where we're stuck. And then we give a new way, a new pattern to do so. Okay, Veronica is going to take you to the next piece, which is about resistance.
Resistance. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Reverend Bobbi. Hello, hello. All right. Resistance, one of my favorite topics. I'm really, really good at it. Anyone else join me in that club? Yes, exactly. Change. Who likes PhD? Very good, very good. And resistance really is what? What would you call it? Fear. Yes, fear, uncertainty, the desire to feel safe, right? Sometimes we go into resistance because we like certainty in our life. We like groundedness. We like to know what's going to happen next, AKA control. Right? We want to be able to predict what's going to happen. So, and it comes to our innate nature to feel safe, So I don't want anyone to feel judgmental about themselves, criticize themselves about the resistance, because it's a natural part of the process. If you think about nature itself, there's many areas in nature where resistance is part of it. If you look at childbirth, right? There's a resistance going on in the body, and mother has to push through to birth the baby. If we look at our babies being born up in Big Bear, the eagles, right? Resisting, pushing through the eggs, tapping through. Anybody can think of any other example of resistance that butterfly pushing through the chrysalis, flapping their wings, strengthening their wings. Yes. A seed, yes, a seed, especially the plants that grow through the cement. Have you seen that? That's amazing that it can do that. So there is evidence around us that resistance, it's okay. It's okay. So can you let go? You think you can let go of your resistance to resistance? That it's okay. It's part of the process. It's part of the birthing process, and it's part of our desire to feel safe, and that's okay for us to want to feel safe. And that that there are times that we're not going to feel safe as we're going through this creative process. If we're working with the creative process, we are going into uncharted territory. We're birthing something new, are we not? And so if we're birthing something new, we don't know what is on the other side. So that's where that uncertainty comes from. And so if we can dancing in the uncertainty is a beautiful thing. So I want you to ask yourself, here's our question, our dyad question. Where have you encountered resistance in your creative or life process? And how did you or how might you move through it? So these are ways that you can go within and look for how and where you resist and what can we do to move through it, okay? So these are going to be your dyad. We're going to do 5 minutes, so 2.5 minutes each. So just each of you take a turn. We'll do a total of 5 minutes to investigate this question. Where have you encountered resistance in your creative or life process, and how did you or how might you move through it? Okay, so go ahead and turn to your dyad partner. And we'll do 2.5 minutes each. I'm not going to ring a bell. You just go switch automatically on your own. We have about 1 more minute. 1 more minute.
Just keep reminding them that it's, I'm just going to keep reminding you it's I, it's me, because I'm hearing, still hearing ethos. So just keep reminding them. And that's free also, not just coming back from holiday, because whenever you're not taught to share.
And if we could bring our Zoom people back. Let's bring our Zoom people back. And let's start to bring it to a close. Everybody. All right, let's close it here. Good, good. Take a deep breath in. Bring yourself present to this room right now. Bringing yourself present. Good. Good, good, good. So once again, being mindful about how we're sharing from the I am, I did, I feel. It's a great practice to build that muscle, because when we, I'll say, include myself in that, when we start sharing from that I place, it's powerful. And we get it on a whole new level than when we're sharing about someone else, right? When we're sharing about someone else outside of ourselves, we don't get it as deeply as when we share I did, I feel, I am. Then it's here, right here. And we really get it on many levels, okay? So I'm going to ask you to share from the microphone, what did you get? What did you learn about yourself from these dyads? And if you have someone from Zoom, just let me know.
Very simple. Ooh. I encountered that when I have difficulty, I think I should know. I should know how to do this. I should know how to fix this. And how do I solve it? I go to beginner's mind. What can I learn?
Thank you, Eileen. Anyone else? What came up? What aha moment did you have?
I have been stuck in like the left brain. And so to get the creative process moving, I started to do like a storytelling workshop, and it has really got the creative flow back in me so that I'm kind of balancing the two sides of my brain.
Thank you.
For me, when I've gone through, really troubling times, and I was sharing this with my partner, and it's interesting when you get matched up with people that mirror you. But you just collapse into, you just have to collapse at some point. When you're going through such difficult times, you just have to collapse into that. And sometimes time just heals. And through that kind of devastation and kind of hitting that kind of rock bottom, you're able to slowly pick up the pieces. But a lot of it is just collapsing into that and just giving yourself time and permission to heal.
Is that what you do? Is that what you do?
I try.
Got it.
Try.
Yes, that's the new practice, the surrender. Yes, thank you, thank you. Anyone else? One more? Okay.
I definitely feel like I've come across where people give me resistance. So how I move through it is I keep going, I do whatever the process or whatever I want to do anyway. I feel like I assume that they don't know the reason why I'm doing whatever I'm doing. It could be volunteering. We'll just say it's volunteering. But I have my own reasons, right? So I do more, I come up with more solutions, and in the end, I'm thinking, I'm just doing this for me. They may think it's money or prestige, but it's nothing like that. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're going to move into a process, a closed-eyed process together. And we're going to look at the creative process and moving through resistance. And I like someone said the example of the butterfly. The butterfly is a beautiful example of the creative process. And is there resistance? Is there resistance? There's resistance as the butterfly is growing out of the chrysalis. But how does the butterfly know when it's time to go into the chrysalis? How does it know? So I asked ChatGPT. And I really like this answer, so I'm going to share it with you. Environmental clues. First, the caterpillar checks out its environment. You know that saying, there's change in the air. So the caterpillar checks out the environment first. And then the caterpillar feels into its body, because the body starts to have changes. Anyone ever have intuition? Oh, it's time for change. Oh, okay. So the body tells the caterpillar, it's time to start going towards the chrysalis and shedding your skin. Also, its nutritional status. Not just food that it eats, but what else are you feeding yourself to help you grow to the next level, the next expression of yourself? What are you feeding yourself? So the nutritional status of the caterpillar tells it it's time to go within. And lastly, its instincts. It just knows. It just knows it's time. So I want us now, as caterpillars, close your eyes and think about something in your life that you may be resisting, some person, an opportunity in life that's presented itself where you feel, oh, this is going to bring change. And notice as the caterpillar is inching towards the chrysalis, and you take a deep breath right now and let it out. At that surrendering breath. Okay. I'm going to embrace this as I move into the chrysalis. So as you go within to that dark space within, that God space, and you feel the caterpillar, the person that you know yourself to be, is starting to dissolve. Within the chrysalis, the caterpillar creates enzymes that cause it to digest itself. So as you are digesting yourself, the you that you know yourself to be, and moving into a place of the you that you don't know yet, this next expression, this next vibration, now you are caterpillar juice inside of the chrysalis. This place in the creative process where all infinite potentiality is possible. And you rest in thee, and you rest in that place with no resistance, open to the possibilities that are available, known and unknown. And all of a sudden, this situation or this person is not even an issue. Because you are resting not in the what ifs, but in the what is. God is. And then as you feel this liquid form starting to take into a new form, feel it within your solar plexus, that you are starting to grow a new body, unlike one that you've ever known before. And you are starting to feel these things on your back. They're growing out of your back, these wings. And as you flutter these wings, you're starting to feel the growth and the strength of the new expression of who you are. And you push against the shell of the chrysalis. You feel that resistance of the shell of the chrysalis as your wings become stronger, and you've become stronger, and you flap those wings, and you feel the strength growing within you to take on this new next expression of yourself. And then you grow into a bigger and greater wingspan, and all of a sudden the chrysalis starts to break open, and your wings begin to spread wide. And your little feet peck away at the chrysalis, and the shell that once is no longer able to hold you or contain you. And you flap those wings into the air, and whoo, you are free. You are free to be the next greatest expression, as your sight is now the sight from above of the situation that was once bothering you or pushing against you. Now your vision is above as you've grown in consciousness, and your wings are strong. Take a deep breath in and let it all go. See yourself flying around in joy and in power and in strength and in compassion and in love, viewing from above. Good. Take another deep breath in right now. Slowly letting it out. This is the next expression of who you are. Yes, and just say thank you to yourself for having the courage to grow through the chrysalis that was trying to contain you. But that containment was the growth that was needed. So thank you. And thank you for yourself for the courage and the self-compassion that was required to move past into the next level. So take another deep breath in as we start to bring ourselves, keeping your eyes closed, just keeping your eyes closed, because I want you to stay present to your body right now. To have your hands touching your legs, and take a breath as you open your eyes to the new expression of you as the butterfly expression, the powerful. Yes, the new expression of Reverend Bobbi. Yes, flying to new levels.
Asked me to do.
And I'm so grateful you said yes.
Didn't even pause.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm not used to wings. You betcha.
Yes.
Okay. How was that? Super fun, super interesting. Yeah, it's really good to visualize showing up as the new. I'm so caught in what was, right? This just version of myself that doesn't necessarily work for where I would like to go. Where am I? I got lost in my wings.
Moving forward with intention.
Okay. So,
we are here. Vision of current change.
keep going.
Keep going.
It's you.
All right.
Oh, you did that. Why am I?
What is the next small action I can take?
Okay, so here we go. I know. I'm still over here in these wings, which is great because I'm somewhere else. So, remember when we talked at the beginning about what's the pattern or thought? What is the thing that gets me stuck? And then we asked you to consider what is the move I can make? What is the new habit? What is it that I can do to move myself through something? Let me ask you something. When you're creating something, I'm going to take this off for a moment. when you're creating something, like for example, I remember a number of years ago I was selling my house, but there was a lot of angst around it because I was caring for my grandmother. And I remember sitting down and writing what we call spiritual mind treatment, which is really an affirmative prayer. And the thing that I said is, what's in the way is fear, that somehow that my worth is connected to how this property sells. Anybody ever feel that? Like, did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? Whatever it might be. And I sat down and wrote an affirmative prayer. And the thing that I said is, first I asked myself, what is in the way of me thinking this property is going to sell? What is in the way? And it was my worth. This was 20, I don't even know how long ago. And so when I wrote the affirmative prayer and I wrote down, I put, this property is sold. I am open and ready for my next highest and best, because it was pulling me that direction. My thing is sometimes is when you're in the flow. So think about it, you're in the flow and you think it's just you. I think it's just me. That it's just my head guiding me there, rather than pausing and listening as, what is happening around me that is setting this up? What is going on? And at the time, it was time to do this because I had to have a lifestyle change to support my grandmother. So I couldn't do both, so I had to open up to the mystery of it. And I had to learn to let go of that worth was associated with that. So my process for letting go of worth, did the spiritual mind treatment, and I said, this house is sold. Highest and best unfolds. And I let it go. And that afternoon, the house sold. Yeah, that's the way it works. And so when we practice things like that, when we practice and surrender and trust, just like she talked about, as far as that butterfly coming out of the chrysalis, there's the trust. The butterfly doesn't know what it's going to be. It doesn't know when it goes into the cocoon, thank you. When it's in the cocoon, it doesn't know that it's completely disintegrating. And from the same stuff comes what? A reverend? So, what is, let's have you, do you have paper? Do you have anything to write with? Did you walk in with anything to write with? Do you have a phone? All right. So think of something right now that's going on in your life you'd like to shift. What is it? Shift. There's an experiencing happening. She just asked you to look at it. You just saw yourself changing in the process, right? Yes? And in that thing that's to change, here's your wings back. Letting go of the how is coming to understand that the how unfolds. So you have your thing in your life right now that you're struggling with. You saw yourself turn into a butterfly. Is that correct? Yes? What is the one small action I can take in the next week that honors this intention of changing this situation, which most often, 99.9% of the time, is my perspective of it. The situation is. But first I have to identify what is the situation, not just that I don't like it. What is the situation? Can you do that? What is it? No color, no characterization, just what is it? As soon as you add color, although you can, and in the next, what is your coloring of that? You'll see what your belief of that situation is by how you characterize it. So the next statement is, how do I what am I characterizing it as? But first the facts. What am I characterizing it as? When you do that, between the facts and how I'm characterizing it, in that space, especially in the characterization, there's where your small action is. Yes? So you identified some situation in your life? Yes. Tell us the facts. Just write down the facts. And then the next statement is characterize it. What have you been characterizing it as? If it's a relationship, you characterize it. What are the facts in the relationship? Characterization is separate. You have a financial situation. What are the facts? How are you characterizing it? Those are two separate things, and you want to do both. And when you're done with that, what's one small action that I can take? Now, how many of you think you can change the facts? What can you change? What I characterize. So what is one small action to change that? Don't write a novel. You can do that later. Who would like to share what's one small action they can take in the next week that honors this intention? Please. When you speak in the mic, make sure it's almost perpendicular.
Hello.
Hello.
One small action I reflected that I can take in this next week that honors the intention is being curious. Because for me, being curious is not me trying to control or predict or say what needs to happen next. It's more open and free to however it falls.
Super good. Love that one. Yes. Who else? Don't be shy. Come on, Peppermint Patty.
I think I shared this last month. What goes around comes around. Compassion and acceptance, and that quote, if they knew better, they do better.
Okay. Thank you for that, Patty. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
My situation is kind of a heavy-hearted one, so my intention to bring forward is just moments of levity, just kind of just brief and maybe might seem shallow, but just some moments of not so heavy.
Thank you for that.
I have a physical situation and a cognitive situation, and my answer for that, sitting here in church, is to do a, I wrote it down, okay, to do a physical treatment, a prayer treatment for the situation, using Science of Mind, the prayer process. And my cognitive issues make it a little hard for me to actually say these things, but that's what I will be doing, is a prayer.
Deborah, can I invite you to ask a practitioner to support you in that so they can help you get there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, for
Good,
sure.
Good.
Thank you.
Because that helps anyone, especially if you can't see it. What would it be like if someone could see it for you? That's all it is.
Right.
Is someone can see it for you. Cool.
Thank you.
You bet. Anyone else? Do we have anyone online? Okay, anyone? Here comes Marjorie.
Well, my perfectionism often gets me into fix it, and I think I should fix it. And the thing that I know works, and I don't always use it, is just stop when I feel it, because I can feel it in my gut. I made a mistake. And if I could just take a deep breath and relax for even just a few seconds, I might short circuit the fix it mode. So that's my.
Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you. So we have something for you to take home to start to practice with.
Yes, if we can pass out the prayer cards, please. Yes.
Homework cards.
Homework cards, sorry. All right, great quote by Dolly Parton on one side. Find out who you are and do it on purpose. Amen to that, right? Do it. Gotta love Dolly Parton. All right, so on the other side, this is our homework. And this is what we're going to be discussing at the Care Circle follow-up class on Wednesday. So first, a breathing and centering practice. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, imagine divine energy flowing through you. As you exhale, release any resistance or uncertainty. Ooh, isn't that a great practice? Yes. The second is set your daily intention. Ask, what is one way I can align with the creative process today? Let a word, phrase, or image come to mind. Speak or write it as an affirmation. Today, I flow with creativity and trust. That's your setting your intention for the day. And third, take inspired action. Identify one small action to express your intention. It could be journaling, taking a mindful walk, or simply being open to inspiration. Commit to following through. So this is a 3 to 5 minute process. You think you can do this daily, maybe? Yes. Let's commit to it. Our spiritual practices make a difference.
In fact, if I may, if you do something different, if you've been kind of stuck, if you feel stuck, do something different. Interrupt it. And that's what this will, if you don't have a consistent practice, try this. If you have a consistent practice, I get stuck sometimes in my consistent practice. Does anybody feel like that? Yeah, I'm like, okay, I've been meditating and doing this, and this isn't going anywhere, right? Try something different. I'm a creature of habit. I love habit. I just love being in my routine. That also keeps me stuck. Okay, so we're going to move to our giving portion of this service. So I'm just going to ask the ushers to come forward. This is how we support the community. So remember at the opening of service when I said I am and I kept getting interrupted, not by anybody except myself, right? So I'd like you to just sit back and relax in your chair. Just listen here. And I'd like you to speak at just a little bit above whisper this. Valerie Day is going to love this. Are you ready? I am. I am. I am. Pause. Deep breath. I am. Pause again. Deep breath. What is it about to mean to say I am? Are you ready? I am. I am. Smile. It's amazing what it tells your brain to do. I am. And one last time. I am. Now, if you just open your eyes and read this affirmation that we use for our community, as we give today, one of the things that really makes a difference in this community is our committed membership and that giving. It allows us to have leadership, classes, events, take care of, look how beautiful this building is. And by the way, for those of you who may have not noticed, I want to thank Brenda and Jim Thomason and our facilities team. Anybody notice the stains are gone up in the ceiling?
Hey, awesome.
So we just installed some new ceiling tiles. See what happens? See what happens? So that's what happens with this kind of giving and this kind of commitment. We're really grateful. Wow, it looks so great. I just love looking up. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add also, whether you are giving into the basket or you give tithe monthly, just place your hand over the basket and say thank you. Thank you, a moment of gratitude as we give from a place of gratitude.
Excellent. So let's say this together. We give with open hearts to this community with shared commitment and purpose. As we give, we prosper, cultivating growth, connection, and shared abundance for all. Thank you all. And the last thing we're going to ask for today, and I'm going to do a closing treatment for the day, and that is there is a QR code both up here and your facilitator has one. These are evaluations. So we just ask you, I think it's 4 simple questions. If you will just scan that with the photo part of your phone, and if you don't know how to do it, your facilitator can help you with that. And just please fill out an evaluation for us so that we know what and how this landed for you today. Okay, so while you're doing that, can you listen? Can you listen for just a moment? Because we're just going to take 1 minute and you can finish the evaluation. So let us come present in this moment, right here and right now. Can I feel anything that has both come up, been resolved, or is asking to be resolved? Can I hold that in my mind? So what I know that God, as the action of the universe, the verb, the divine, presence, power, and creation, that is all there is. That I am one with it, and each person here is too. So as we intentionally set this today, we set this intention today, that I move through this experience that I have identified, that I set a course, my intention is there, and I will practice and open and allow whatever is next to unfold in my life. That I am both the caterpillar and the butterfly. And that power is within me. And I speak this truth for all here, and I let go of worry. I let go of worth. I let go of punishment. I let go of having to earn. I let go of anything in the way. I accept that as true for myself and everyone here in the room. And with deep gratitude for joining these amazing folks in this room, we say, and so it is. Thank you all for coming today.
Thank you.
Why don't you... I wanted to talk a little bit about you and I walking around the room.